And we are back with the second part of our what kind of tournament are we calling this, guys?
Ooh,
March anime.
Fishing tournament.
Oh yes, we're going after the biggest bass, right?
You thought this
Yes,
was a grand
big
tournament.
mouth
but It was
bass.
actually me, Dio.
Oh.
Jesus Christ!
Nani?
Nani? It's our play on that other big sports bracket, but with anime. Yay!
What's sports ball?
What is sports ball?
Sports Ball 2.0.
Or who is sports ball? I know
Ooh.
that.
Ah.
You like sports ball?
Mr.
I
Sports
like
Ball.
sports
I don't endorse big sports ball.
You know what I don't like? Sports anime.
Ooh, hard take there.
And a
Actually,
fight
doesn't.
is a
We did
brewing.
not see a sports anime.
Yeah, not for lack of trying.
This is true.
You wanna
Their sports
fight,
anime
Justin?
made it. But anyways, what we've got going on here is we did the first 32 matchups of our anime. We're trying to determine the best anime of all time. So if you haven't listened to that first part, go back and check that out. But this
Or,
is
you
going to
know,
be
you can-
the second half.
They could watch in reverse order.
Oh, they could watch in reverse order, but
I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't
but-
recommend it either.
You could see if the fights get more or less intense.
Oh, yeah,
Which
you
direction.
could memento this.
This is true.
No,
I have a feeling the fights are going to get pretty damn intense when we get to this last part of the bracket.
Friendships will be ruined.
People will be cackling in pure joy at the defeat of their enemies.
Laughter will be had.
I think as we get further into this, we're going to have to do face cam so you guys can stare me in my cold, dead eyes as you break my soul.
We should do a face cam when it's
I would love to do that.
podcast show.
I'm not
That's
saying
relevant.
No,
for
he doesn't want
everyone
the
listening.
listeners. He
I'm
wants
saying
us.
for you guys.
Oh.
Us
For
debating
you
him.
soul crushing,
Oh, okay.
basically murderers is what you are.
Anyway.
All right, with that, let's get right into this, guys.
Well, Jared, you didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Justin.
I'm
He's
Jared.
We're the hosts
I'm
of the show.
Justin.
We're joined today by...
The other Justin.
Also known as Joe,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm Henry.
and I am Clayton.
All right. This is the Talk Anime Podcast. All right, let's get started.
That was more of an introduction than last time. Last time I was just a flute.
This
All right,
is
what are we doing?
Wait.
True.
you
Wait,
learned to
where's the
talk.
flute?
I'm so proud of
He's a real boy.
I'm a bald head.
you.
Oh no,
Oh no,
Good learning.
not like a Chimera ant,
he's
right?
progressing.
Right?
I'm like Dr.
Let's
Stone.
just get right on into
I
it.
mean, I may have the taste for human flesh, but let's not talk about that.
Oh my god.
It's a different podcast.
Different
Thank
podcast.
God you are far away from me.
You don't know that.
Shit.
Lock your doors. All right, so
Hide your wife, hide your husband, because they.
Jesus.
So, Cowboy Bebop?
yeah, Cowboy
Yes,
Bebop
Cowboy
versus
Bebop.
Death Note.
Oh, how about that, Cowboy Bebop?
versus Death Note?
So I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but if Death Note, spoilers abound here, had ended when L died, I think this could be a very close matchup. Now,
Yeah.
that being said,
Yeah, it didn't happen.
that did not
not.
happen. And Death Note
Wow.
had another like 13 episodes or
They
something.
did. And they were not good.
And they were
But
Almost.
guys, together they were better than him.
yeah,
No.
They weren't.
they were not. L was
Nope.
the pinnacle of that show.
Yup.
And once he died, that was it. then Light got beat by children.
He
Children.
did. Children.
The guy who
Weren't they
beat
all
L.
children all along?
It could have been.
No.
Um,
No devil's
Alright,
advocate
well,
here.
but-
no, this isn't the shit on Death Note podcast.
No,
Let's
this
talk
is
a
not.
little bit about Cowboy Bebop.
That's what I was going to get to. Cowboy Bebop is what? Probably the
Classic.
pinnacle of like a classic anime.
It's
Yeah.
one of my favorites of all time. Again, like Samurai Champloo was on the favorites of all time. This is also favorite of all time.
Was a spaceship from Death Note in a Hollywood movie as a cameo?
Nope.
Nope,
It was not.
definitely was not.
So I just want to say, last time and in the future of this, I'm sure we'll be talking about nostalgia glasses. And
Oh, yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is not that. The show is
No.
amazing.
This,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
this, there's
Yeah.
hands
There
down,
is no-
this blinds you even through nostalgia glasses.
Yes.
It's that good.
You can't go wrong with this show.
I mean, if not just the content of the show, just the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack.
The jazz
alone.
opening.
Yeah.
I mean, Tank, you got Rush. I mean, just the seatbelts playing. All these really, I mean, I think iconic. Like
It's
just
so good.
jazz pieces. Really good.
Yeah, the music's incredible. I mean, Spike is everything you
So
could want
cool.
from a lead character. You have a freaking corgi. You have Ein.
It has a corgi.
This show
Yeah.
has it all. It's a space western. Like I'm a sucker for space westerns.
All right, can I just can we just call it now? Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all know that
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's no need to keep arguing here.
this is
Oh,
this is not
guys,
even we don't
guys.
this isn't even an argument. This is just a stroke off fest right now.
Well,
Listen, we had to beat up
I
Death
believe
Note. You got
Yeah.
to stroke Cowboy Bebop, and then you
Like,
can
we
move
met
on.
Death
Yeah.
Note in a
Yeah.
dark alley and just beat the crap out of it.
And then we met Cowboy Bebop in that
And we
same
took it on
dark
a
alley,
sweet
and we
weekend,
beat
and
it
there's a
off.
nice happy ending afterwards.
This just reminds me of that Rick and Morty meme with Death Note. Just looking around. This is great. This place is fun and whimsical. And then Cowboy Bebop's just like, "What are you looking at, motherfucker?"
All right, so Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
Bebop.
5-0.
unanimous,
All
I
right,
believe.
5-0.
Cowboy Bebop.
Bang.
It's weird how the number ones
Oh.
have gotten
Excellent,
I think
Clayton.
so far,
Excellent.
all the number ones have swept.
Well, that's why they're number 1 seeds going up against 16
Lo and
seeds.
behold.
Good point.
Next
I'm
we
not sure
have.
that's going to hold in the next bracket, but
No, I don't think it will either. But next we have Soul Eater versus Angel Beats.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Angel Beats holds like a special place for me personally. It's one of the shows that got me back into anime, like right around like 2008, 2009. Because I had a lull from like Toonami through like high school, but then like my
I think
freshman year of
like
college, I really started getting back into, and this is one of the shows that drug me back into anime.
Okay.
This and Sekirei, but that's a whole nother story.
That's a different bracket.
No, that's a different bracket.
Yo, I guess. Yeah.
Best
A
big
new
titty animes.
challenger approaches.
Not taking anything from Soul Eater, because Soul Eater is
Yeah, I was about to say.
Excellent,
don't be
excellent
talking bad
show.
about Soul Eater, man.
Yeah,
I
I think
love
Soul Eater. Yeah, Soul Eater is definitely one of the earlier shows I think I end up
I
watching.
love me some Soul Eater,
Admittedly,
dog.
I haven't watced Angel Beats. I heard it's really good though. Just haven't watched it yet.
It
But I
is
think
good.
yeah, in terms of at least, I mean, I don't know. I think I mean, I kind of have the nostalgia glasses. I think for Soul Eater as we were talking about earlier. Plus, I end up finishing the manga for that as well. It gets a little trippy like as you go along, but
the animation is different, but I really
yeah.
enjoy Soul Eater.
yeah. Well, plus I think for Soul Eater that was one of the first shows, one of the only shows. No, not one of the only shows. Like one of the first shows that I actually like, watched in dub. I think because I thought the dub was pretty good.
The dub
was
is
amazing.
excellent.
Dub is
I
really
think
good.
I
Yeah,
like the dub
yeah.
more than the sub.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
So-
I
I mean,
I
I'm
gotta
going
give
for
it
Soul
Soul
Eater for
Eater.
this, although
I'm
nothing
with
against
Henry
Angel
on
Beats.
this.
So
Soul Eater.
I have to
So-
go stick with the show that one of the shows that drug me back into anime.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
like
I mean, that's totally fair.
yeah, like this happened with Joe before with like
Absolutely.
Bleach, like
yeah.
in the previous episode. This is what
Absolutely.
Angel Beats is to me.
Yep.
And it's absolutely hysterical. It hits you with the feels. It's just an all around great show, especially for like 12 episodes.
Yep.
You can't get much better for a short show. Going
I
with
will
Angel
say-
Beats.
Soul Eater and Angel Beats, because I don't have like the nostalgia glasses for Soul Eater because I didn't watch it like early on when it like first came out. So I watched them around the same time, and I enjoyed both of them. But what I will say is TK is my boy, and Angel Beats is great. So
Oh, TK 's
vote for
great.
Angel Beats.
But I think that's 2-2 actually now. Oh.
Yeah, it's
So-
2-2.
Let us
Wait, you
fight
got-
for his final
Yes,
vote.
No. I have watched both shows.
I
I've
break your
watched
vote,
both
like,
shows.
every time, it seems like.
Well, I like listening to opinions when I'm kind
Yeah.
of on the fence because Soul Eater has
Yes.
Frankenstein.
Oh
Frankenstein
yeah,
is amazing.
It does.
Stein is definitely.
How many anime characters beat up the lead characters while sitting in a chair?
That's true.
Yeah.
This is
Frankenstein is awesome.
Frankenstein is awesome.
true. Yes.
However, I did not binge all of Soul Eater in one night
Ah, shit.
while I had something else for school that I should have been paying attention to, which led to me pulling an all-nighter so I can get both the project done and finish the show.
And finish
Ah,
the show.
God dang it.
You know what?
I have to go for Angel Beats.
Yes, it's so good. Like, you don't
Yeah.
understand like how important this show is to me. It's one of my favorites of all time, and it's so good.
I mean,
Nah.
Like, and it has excellent music in it too.
oh yeah,
Yes.
in fact, with like the band in the show.
Yeah,
is
Girls
actually,
Dead
like-
Monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Go,
Wait,
go
I know that
demo.
much at least.
Angel Beats has good beats.
Oh, and the
Yeah,
opening.
come.
Great beats.
The opening is incredible. Not taking anything away from Soul Eater's opening because it's
Oh
excellent
yeah,
as
because that.
well.
I mean, the
I love
first
that
two
first
openings.
opening.
I really like the first.
But-
You like both the openings for the
but
show.
the
I
piano and Angel
yeah.
Beats. Oh,
Yeah, maybe I'll
beautiful.
just use that right now. We'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you, boys. I'm so happy.
Actually, I'll do that right now. Actually,
I got you, dog.
Next, we
All
got Monogatari series versus Log Horizon.
Oh, why
I
must you
gotta
hurt
go
me?
Right off the bat.
So
Oh, this hurts.
this one is
Uh.
easy for me, and I love Log Horizon, but Monogatari is such a good show, and it
Yeah.
has probably my favorite thing in anime and basically storytelling, which is like unique power levels. Like it's not just straight magic versus straight like just nothing. It's kind of like that weird like in between. Like the way like I explained like Darker Than Black is probably one of my favorite ways where they have an exchange, and it's a unique way they handle people having powers versus the supernatural. And Monogatari does kind of the same thing, not exactly that way, but it's never strictly that you have an ability versus you don't. It's just kind of an in between.
yeah. There's
with
trade offs. There's
supernatural.
trade offs involved.
There's trade offs, and it's just really well done. The wordplay in it is amazing. The animation for the show is amazing.
I mean,
it's
even
just-
if you don't understand all the like the nuances in
And
like,
you
the
won't
the
you won't
Japanese,
understand all the nuances,
Yeah,
but even the
it's
ones you
still
pick
really
up,
entertaining to
still
listen to. It's still
so
really
good.
entertaining. Yeah.
So this is
Oh my god.
just an easy vote for me, and that's not taking anything away from Log Horizon, which is awesome.
So Log Horizon is probably one of the most like dry, but in a good way for an isekai.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
just takes its time with the world building. There's so many characters. R.I.P. Krusty. We will see you again.
Someday.
Someday
he'll
you
come
will.
back from
Someday
his
you come
adventure.
back from your journey.
That's my friend.
It has great comedy in it. Just kind of seeing how your main character like thinks about how to break this world, like, is incredible to watch. That being said, I've seen a little bit of Monogatari, not a lot, but just like the love from people for that show isn't the love that I can see people ever having for Log Horizon, and I have to go Monogatari.
Mm.
Senjo Gahara. That's all I have to say.
yes.
End of story. Drop mic.
Monogatari wins.
Ah,
Justin?
that makes sense.
So I haven't seen either of these, and you have just handed me the tie-breaking vote.
No.
No,
Monogatari's already
won.
gone through. It's been
Okay.
4-0.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's 4-0.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, it's
but
4-0.
before you pass your vote, you have a scene where Best Girl slaps her ass in the shower.
Slow mo.
It's great.
just to fuck everything up, Log Horizon.
Ah,
Yeah.
All right, Monogatari moves on.
An agent of chaos is what he is. Because it deserves its 5-0 sweep.
Yeah, it deserved a 5-0 sweep.
Log
I just
Horizon's
wanted to do that
excellent,
comment.
but from what I've seen from Monogatari, I don't think Log Horizon could ever hold a candle to it.
We'll need to watch that at one point. We'll see.
I
All
guess I'll have
right.
to watch both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we have Konosuba versus.
And Akame got killed.
Let the
Yeah.
bloodbath begin.
Oh.
Gentlemen, fight!
Have not seen Konosuba.
So I have two things to say. One,
Go ahead.
Akame got killed. Bullet died too soon. Two, explosion. Konosuba is the funniest guy ever, and it's vote for Konosuba.
Oh, a vote for Konosuba is a vote for democracy. And I believe in democracy more than anybody here right now. It's Konosuba. It's hilarious. It's great.
Not only
I
is
love-
a vote for Konosuba a vote for democracy, it's also a vote for gender equality.
That's right.
Main character is
Kazuma.
purely the most gender equal of
Yes.
all. He treats everybody like shit.
I mean, even I know that, and I haven't even watched it.
True equality.
That being said,
Also, Tractor Coon,
Tractor Coon.
Yeah.
best
It's also
antagonist.
original. It's also original. It didn't go with
Oh my
Truck Coon.
Yes, they went with Tractor Coon, going about 5 miles per hour,
Yeah, and it stops.
and it
Oh
stops
my
in
God.
time. Oh,
And...
that being said, I love Akami Got Kill. It is
Yeah, I was about to
great.
say-
It's watching like all the characters slowly die throughout the show from different things.
Just
It's
so
heartbreaking.
nerve-wracking. It's so nerve-wracking. Yeah, 'cause I'm
ending-
just like,
The ending
Just
kills it.
Just don't finish
Yeah.
the show. You'll like it.
Yeah, I could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Don't
Yeah,
finish the
would agree.
show. At that point, though, what's the point of even watching?
I mean, like,
It's very good,
Entertainment.
but Konosuba, it's hysterical.
Yeah, Konosuba. I don't
comedy.
even really particularly care for Konosuba that much, but
Hey, watch Konosuba.
Tractor Coon.
I will watch that at the same time I watch ReZero. Not to say I won't watch ReZero. I just say they most probably will have it at the same time.
All right, so Konosuba.
Yeah.
Konosuba.
Oh yeah.
Was
All
Joe's take on this? Did Joe have a
Is this
take on
5-0?
Yeah, Joe had a
Oh,
quick take.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Bullet
I
died too soon, so
You are
explosion.
correct. That's right. Okay, I remember.
Explosion.
Was that 5-0?
No, it's 4-1.
Nope.
4-1.
All right, 4-1 again.
It's
Wait,
me.
who's the chaos this time?
Henry.
Me. It's a me.
It's a me.
It's a me.
It's a me. A chaos.
All right, next up we've got Digimon Adventure versus Durarara.
Also, I just want to say, guys, I appreciate you not making me feel like the odd man. Last time I did feel like the odd man out, but this time I'm on the winning side for most of these, and I'm guessing that's going to end soon. So I just
Yeah,
want
It
to
might.
We'll keep that in mind.
Very
yeah,
well might.
Let me remind everybody of one thing. I know this is going to put nostalgia glasses on everybody, but Digimons are the champions. Let's be honest here with ourselves, people. Digimon is excellent. It's better than Pokemon. That's not even a hot take. It is better.
You lost me right there.
1000% disagree.
Not even a hot take. Much
Yeah, that
better.
is a hot take.
Yeah.
Better
Pretty hot.
characters,
Pretty spicy.
better monsters.
Incorrect. On many counts.
I
So-
might have just lost the vote with that statement.
So
You
I
definitely
have,
did.
I have a living Pokedex to this day for Pokemon, and Digimon is better than Pokemon.
That's what I want to hear.
Spice levels increase.
Yeah,
I can't help it. It's better. Like, especially the show, there's no comparison. The
Yeah.
Pokemon show does not compare to the Digimon show. If you want to talk games,
Oh,
Digimon couldn't
Pokemon's
quite
better.
figure it out
Yeah.
because they're like, we evolve and de-evolve and do all these things, and it just doesn't rate for games all the time. Those Cyber Sleuth, a lot of fun. But we're not on that right now.
We're not on games. This is about anime.
Also, this isn't even
It's not
Digimon
anime.
versus Pokemon, which is where we've gotten to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw
Right.
that out there.
I'm a vote for Digimon as well.
I love Durara. It has some of the best like characters and interweaving storylines. Like it is
Yes.
excellent with all of that, but Digimon
Shizuo
holds
Iwajima.
yes, Digimon
No.
holds a special place in my heart.
I gotta go with Durara.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, I mean, I have not watched. Digimon does not have the same nostalgic type of value, I think, and I think Durara might have been one of the earlier shows that I also watched. I mean, I think the first season is pretty good. I haven't finished like all of it, but at least the first 2 seasons I think were pretty strong for that show.
Yeah.
And also Shizuo Iwajima. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
He is a great character, I will say.
Berserk strength. That's all I
Yeah.
can. That's all. That's my biggest like thing with that show. It's like, yes, thank you.
So I recognize the nostalgia of Digimon, but the storytelling of Dora.
Digimon,
great.
digital monsters, Digimons
And-
are the champions.
You know what? I'm going to continue
Oh,
on,
Digimon guard their champ.
but storytelling and the out of order storytelling
Oh,
and
yeah,
borderline
yeah.
confusing plot, but they do it in a way that doesn't turn you off. You keep hungering to figure out why things are happening,
Yeah.
why all the chaos is going through, and it just keeps making you want to watch more and more and more.
You eventually figure it out. So
And the first opening and second opening,
second
absolutely
opening,
amazing.
Yes.
So before we cast this final vote to crush two people's souls in here, I just want to say that I forced a group of like 10 of my friends in college to watch the Digimon movie. And by force, I mean we were all at my house just chilling. And I said, we're going to watch the Digimon movie. Why would we do that? And I said, because we are. And we did. And it went from no support to everyone's support that we watched that movie. So no nostalgia glasses. Digimon is amazing to this day.
To be fair, I have rewatched it in the last decade, and it holds up. It's real good.
Oh yeah.
It's real good, boys. It's not just
Yeah.
nostalgia.
Oh no, it's
So-
great. It's a great show.
So take this away. Everyone grab a group of your friends and force them to.
Yes.
I will grab a group of my friends, but I will force them to watch Durara.
Make them watch both. The Digimon movie is just a movie. I'm not even saying watch
At the
both.
same time.
Dueling movies.
All right, Durara moves on to
I
two
got sushi. It's so
two
good.
sad lads' broken hearts.
I knew it was going to
no.
end shortly.
Yeah, I knew too.
I knew this day would come.
I'm just happy
Next
it
up-
made it on the list and it made it as a 6th seed.
That was an upset.
Yeah, it was an upset.
Technically, it was
We have the better Fate, Fate Zero,
the best
and
fate.
Noragami.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
I mean, considering how much we were talking about Fate Zero the last episode.
Yeah.
I was about to
Who you
say,
guys
I
watch
feel like we
Noragami?
have
Let's
to-
not get ahead of ourselves.
yeah, so okay.
Watch Noragami.
So I need somebody to give me a good argument for Noragami because I have not seen it.
Not me. I've seen scenes. And
I've
it
seen
looks really
bits and
good.
pieces of Noragami. I
but
haven't
I-
watched it.
I mean, I could see it being really good. I just can't say from firsthand.
Am I the sole representative of Noragami?
I
I
believe you
am
are.
also a representative,
Okay.
but I have a problem.
Uh-oh.
So,
the problem is.
so the
It's
problem
going up
is that
against
I'm
Fate Zero.
literally crushing my own soul because no one
Ooh.
has seen Noragami, and it is such a good show.
I've watched
I-
Noragami.
I know, right? But none of the rest
Yeah.
of them.
I know.
And people don't watch it, but it's a very good show. The basically the synopsis is that all of the gods in Japan, the different ones, you gain power based on people like praying to you and like who actually believe in you and donate to you.
Yes.
And it follows one of the gods who basically only is just like doesn't have anyone believing in him anymore. He's an old like calamitous god, and no one is like, you know, asking God to smite people anymore. So it just like he doesn't have that, so he's trying to do like odd jobs, and he has one.
Sounds like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
But
No,
it
it's
does,
much
it
deeper.
does,
Modern
it does
day kind of
teeter
take-
between that jokey side of it and the more serious side of it, and and it has a very good balance. It's an
Yes.
excellent show, and I very much enjoy it. That being said, Fate Zero is so goddamn good. It is
really
so
is.
good.
Oh my
It's
goodness, yeah.
it is by far my favorite Fate series, and I enjoy the Fate series a lot.
I feel like
But
it's
it
not even
is- it
close
is the
to like
best.
any of the other Fate series either. Like,
No, the
No.
other ones are not close to as
like
good.
they
It
can't
is-
even like touch this one
It's-
at all.
it's-
No. This one
It's
is too
absolutely excellent, and I don't want to make this vote, but I do have to vote
Yeah.
for Fate series.
I feel like if Fate
Ah.
Zero had the animation of Unlimited Blade Works, it might be one of like top 4
Yeah.
best anime of all time easily.
It really, yeah.
The
Fate
But
animation
that-
still wasn't bad.
No, and the animation
No, it
wasn't
wasn't.
bad. I'm not even saying
No.
that. I'm just saying like Unlimited
Yeah.
Blade Works animation was like
Yeah, it was
that
bad.
So much
incredible. But Fate Zero has an incredible story. All of every single character fits perfectly. I enjoy all of them. Like,
and let's not
there's-
forget, it has a really good ending.
Yeah, it does
Yes.
have a good ending. Like, Gilgamesh is just a mad lad, and I fucking love it.
Gilgamesh is Mad
He is
Lad
like
and
the
he's
one of
wonderful.
the best villains in an anime I think I've ever seen. And
Yeah.
that's including
Oh, yeah.
this show, which has another great villain in the caster, who's just
Yeah.
a psychopath
Caster.
and they just murder children.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, Alexander's best boy.
Oh,
Oh,
Iskandar.
Iskandar
Iskandar.
is the king.
Iskandar.
He
Yes.
is the true king.
Yes. Iskandar is the king.
my God.
It's so good.
Yeah.
My
mean,
vote
plus-
goes for Fate Zero. Like
Fate Zero.
this is one of my favorite shows of all time. I've watched this I don't know how many
yeah.
times, and it's excellent every single
Yeah.
time.
I can rewatch this all the time. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, you have that
What's
final.
your vote, Henry?
My vote's gonna be Fate Stay or Fate Zero.
Yeah.
Correct myself there. Sorry. I mean, you got that final confrontation between like Kitsugu versus
Kiritsugo Emiya versus
Mhm.
yeah, frick, who's it again? Yeah, no, the guy from the church.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
church,
yeah.
Basically,
Oh.
the big confrontation at the very end. I mean, that's like a classic / like it's iconic. I think is
Yeah.
maybe you could-
Yeah.
It's just an iconic like standoff.
The worst thing
So-
about Fate Zero is they took off Berserker's helmet.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. I remember, yeah. But yeah, I'm going with Fate Zero.
But
with this one.
Berserker takes over a freaking jet.
Berserker's
does.
awesome.
It's awesome.
He is my favorite
Yeah, he
hero,
does.
basically.
So Fate Zero does deserve a 5-0. But I love Noragami.
Listen, you ease my soul with your vote. I want
Noragami is
Don't do it for
incredibly
me.
underrated. It doesn't get watched enough.
Yeah.
It's very deep because like on the surface you've got this jocular character that is Yato, who is the god, but the real story is it's basically his redemption arc of him coming back from being a god of war to redefining himself in the modern era to being a god that helps people and no longer just puts an end to their existences. And he goes through many trials and tribulations as he tries to reinvent himself and become relevant as a different type of god. And it's great. So I'm going to vote Noragami.
Okay.
That's fair.
For a second.
you
Well-
ease my soul.
Yeah,
Fate Zero
and
moves
Noragami it sounds like a show that really should be getting more
Yeah, it
love.
sounds good.
Yes,
Would like to
it
watch.
deserves
And I'm
more
glad
love
that
than
it is
has.
getting a nice
Yeah.
spotlight
I mean,
here.
I can't blame going for Fate Zero. It's a classic. But Noragami is way underrated.
Yeah, I mean,
And that being
That's
said,
good.
Fate
Well,
Zero
that's
moves
one.
on with the 4-1.
it does. Next up, we have Bakano versus Blood Blockade Battlefront.
Oh, this is a really hard one.
Why
for
you
me.
hurt me? Why you
Why you hurt me?
What I do to you guys?
Why you hurt me? Oh, these are both so good shows. Oh.
So I haven't seen Blood Blockade Battlefront, unfortunately.
Oh,
But I have seen Bakano, and it is just damn good.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
seen
yeah.
little snippets of Blood Blockade Battlefront, so I don't doubt that it's not
Yeah.
equally as good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give. I want to hear some arguments before I can make a decision on this one.
Henry, you probably have stronger feelings on Blood Black Cage. So you should
Ma-
talk about it a bit.
Maybe I'd like to think about it. So if you have anything to say, I'm gonna pass this.
All right. So, Blood Blockade Battlefront's about a world where one day, randomly, a giant cloud comes out of nowhere and engulfs the entire city of New York. And that cloud came from a dimensional rift between the demon world and, our world.
Okay.
And what basically ends up happening is this weird spot that's in this kind of limbo between the two worlds becomes this, melting pot. So still an allegory towards New York City of both cultures. And you're following the main character who before the start of the show received what's called the all-seeing eyes of the gods,
Mm-hmm.
which
Okay.
gives him supervision essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's not super strong, he's not super fast or anything, but using his intelligence and what he can see is how he fights. And it's very unique. That being said, there's
Yeah.
plenty of super strong, super fast characters, but they all end up relying on the main character because of his ability.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a general overview, not even really talking about. It's a fun, fast-paced show. Not a ton of thinking involved, but it's better off for it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though there is character depth.
Yeah, I mean, there's such a diverse like range in the characters that they have as well. I mean, it's a very diverse cast they have in that show, and I mean, like I don't know. It's just a very like I think I agree with Clayton. It's just a very enjoyable show. I mean, not to say anything against Baccano, of course, because I mean, I really enjoyed Baccano as well. I mean, I think even just talking
didn't
about
we
Baccano.
binge that all in one night? Henry?
Yeah, actually, wait, actually, did we
Yeah,
actually?
we did. We binged
Oh
it all.
shoot, we did. Oh man, yeah, I forgot about that. Actually, I think that was at. Yeah, okay, I think I remember that. That was your place, I think, right?
Yeah, I was like, hey,
Oh.
sit down. You need to watch this.
And we did all of it.
Yeah.
That being said, I have watched Blood Blockade twice, or the first season twice. I've only watched the second season once. And Baccano I have not yet watched a second time. That being said, I mean the opening is great just because it's of the style of jazz it does, and then the ending is just really, really nostalgic. I think for me, well,
I'm
maybe
the
maybe
rail
nostalgic's-
tracer.
Yes, maybe nostalgic's not quite the right word, but it's a really touching song. I think for me, anyway, just given what some of these characters have gone through, and just I don't know, Jared. It's like the whole gravity, I guess, of some of the things that has transpired in that show. I mean, especially, well, it's interesting because we were talking about like do rah rah sorry earlier.
Oh, same creator.
yeah, exactly.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
it's
the same
like, I guess,
style of
Yeah.
nonlinear storytelling, and
yeah, and
and
also
on-
even the opening, just the parallels between that and Baccano. That being said, I mean, I think Baccano probably does a slightly.
See, I prefer Baccano to Durarara myself. I like
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
different storytelling over slightly different timelines or
Yeah,
times.
for sure.
I think
mean,
it's
if we
a
had
little bit more
Baccano
interesting.
Yeah, if we had Baccano and Durarara in a bracket, I would definitely go with Baccano.
Yeah.
This
But
is
don't-
really,
well.
this is pretty hard.
but we don't. right now.
Well, okay, maybe a little preemptive to say that, but I mean, this is kind of a hard one for me. I think, anyway, just because, like, I mean, there's such a, I mean, even the world in Blood Blockade Battlefront is just so diverse.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I mean, oh my gosh, I probably can't do it justice. Actually, even trying to describe.
yeah,
some of
it's
the-
very hard to describe because it's such an odd show.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's like it's all over the place, and yet, I mean, like some of the stories that you tell with some of these characters are pretty good. So,
Yeah.
That being said,
And for Blood Blockade Battlefront, if I'm remembering correctly, some of the main characters that were hinge points for the show in the first season
Yeah.
didn't exist in the source material.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm
And
not
it
familiar
was
with the
still
source
amazing.
material. Huh. Okay.
I'd have to check that up, but if I remember when I was watching it as it came out, that was the case.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
this is the only show that has ever cucked me for 3 months waiting for the last episode
I remember this.
because for some reason the last episode was delayed like 3 months and I still watched it and loved it.
Yes. I remember you showed me a Clayton, and I ended up like either binging it all like the next like couple days or
Yes.
something. And I'm like, I finished like, hey Clayton, I finished. Like, got to watch the last.
Yeah,
in
I love
time.
Baccano, but Blood Blockade. That's my vote.
Oh.
So where are we at with that then? With the votes right now?
We got one.
One definite right there.
I'm assuming, Justin, what you're going for Baccano?
Yeah, I said I'm going for.
Okay, that's what I
Baccano.
thought.
Yeah.
So 1-1.
Yep.
Oh, you make. I mean, I've heard very compelling arguments here. It's just so hard to vote for a show that you haven't seen.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Then again, I
Yep.
did that with Monogatari. I did
Yes.
vote for a show that I haven't seen just because I know how compelling it is. But
Yeah.
Baccano is better than Durarara, and I love Durarara.
And I
But
can't fault you for that vote.
I gotta go Baccano, boys. I have to.
I'm gonna have to go Baccano too, just because Rail Tracer.
Harry,
and-
you betrayed me.
I know. I'm so
No.
sorry. The
Oh,
tale
I
of the
thought I had
worm.
2 votes. I
That's
thought Joe
like
was going to
betrayal.
I really like Steven Starface and just all that stuff, but Rail
4-1.
Rail Tracer and throwing wrenches. Just
Hey Joe,
at
remember those
people.
times I helped you out, buddy?
Oh,
So I got zero stake in this because I've seen neither. And I backed my boy.
As it
My
is.
boy backed me, so I'm backing my boy again. And going, look like, hey, pal.
Yeah.
Henry, we could have won, Henry.
We could have.
All right. By a
That being
3-2 vote, Bakano moves on. Next up, I'm pretty sure Jared's just trying to put my mind into a pretzel here. We have One Punch Man versus Hellsing Ultimate.
What's funny is that's just how like the order turned out when I started making the rankings.
I
I
hate
hope
you.
it did.
I hate you so much.
Okay.
Why did you do this to me?
If this was Helsing abridged,
Oh,
for
Helsing
One
Abridged
Punch
would
Man,
easily go ahead.
no
for me,
question. But it isn't Helsing.
No,
abridged.
it's not.
I know,
Versus One
but
Punch
I
Man.
really love Hellsing Ultimate.
So if this was just Helsing Ultimate versus the first season of One Punch Man,
It would be tough.
that wouldn't even be tough for me. It'd be One
No,
Punch Man.
yeah.
But we
The only
got
thing that
that.
makes it close is the second season.
Yeah,
No,
the animation of the second season was not
Even if
nearly as good,
even
but
if
the
it was
characters
against-
were better.
just the first season of One Punch, it would still be tough for me.
That's
This is-
fair. I know you love both of these.
I love both of these shows so much.
Police girls.
Hellsing Ultimate is awesome,
Yes.
but when the abridged is superior to the original show,
Yeah.
and I got One Punch Man on the other side of the table, I'm going One Punch.
I have One Punch.
Uh,
So One Punch has so many awesome superheroes, from like Metal Bat to the Tank Top
Yeah.
Tigers to Moomin Rider. Frickin'
Yes.
Moomin
Free
Rider
Prisoner.
is my boy. Who?
Woman right
Justin,
Free Prisoner.
Yes.
this deserves to be the first 5-0 of this bracket.
I'm sorry. Under the premise that Hellsing Abridged is just even that much better than Ultimate. If somebody can do that and make it that much better than the original, and it's going up against One Punch Man, like Joe said, like I gotta go with One Punch Man. It's just like the perfect satire for a shonen.
it
Yeah.
really is.
Come on,
it's
Justin.
One Punch Man.
5-0. 5-0.
Yeah, also One Punch.
No.
5-0.
I can't do it. I like Hellsing Ultimate.
5-0.
Hellsing Ultimate. I
I respect your decision.
I don't
I
even
respect
care.
your decision.
I love Hellsing Ultimate.
I also respect
Yeah.
your decision. Hellsing
I love
Ultimate.
the. I
It's
love the
good.
abridged.
It's so
But
good.
the abridged is
It
why
is
I
very
watched
good.
the original, and I really.
All right, with that wraps up the Bebop bracket.
Oh my
All right,
god.
next up.
Ooh, strap
Next.
in, boys.
Strap
Oh my
in.
God.
You ready for some
Oh,
arguments
no.
here? Because
This
we're
one.
moving on to the Hunter x Hunter bracket.
All right,
yes.
Next
My
up,
body is
Here
ready.
we go.
Versus Red Line.
Fight!
Ah.
This is where it gets hard.
So I guess talk a little about Redline, since maybe not many people have known about it.
I think
Yeah,
Clayton
you
and
and Joe.
I and Justin haven't seen it. You and Joe have
Yeah,
seen
I
Red
haven't
Line.
seen this one.
Sell me on it, because I've watched some Hunter x Hunter.
Love me some Hunter x Hunter.
I'll probably be the swing vote here because I've watched some Hunter x Hunter, but I haven't watched it all.
I don't think you will be. I think I know how this is going to go.
There ain't no swing vote
Yeah,
for this one.
Okay.
but I want to hear the argument
But
regardless.
continue.
Well, let's me see. Just make sure I don't. Actually, I don't know. Do you want to take this one, Joe? I
can
feel
start.
like I'm gonna. Yeah.
So-
Okay. I'll follow up. Yeah.
Red Line, the premise is that the Red Line is a intergalactic space race for like the entire galaxy, and is the most dangerous race that is illegally ran on a planet. And so basically, first of all, this whole thing is basically a hand-drawn masterpiece. Every frame of this movie is gorgeous, and it's
I'm a sucker for
Very,
hand drawn.
very
I really am.
it's really good. Anyone who has not seen Red Line should watch it. It's like an hour and a half or something, but it is
Yeah.
totally worth it. It is a great thing. If it wasn't going up against Hunter x Hunter, it would win out against 90% of the other things in this bracket for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And basically, all the cars are souped up ridiculous. It's like a death race thing on steroids. And while that's going on, the government of the planet they're having the race on is trying to destroy all the race cars as well. And
Yeah.
it's just absolutely hot blood in a bottle. That's all it is. It is hot blooded nonsense that is so great, and
Yeah.
that it's hard to describe why it's so good. You just have to watch it
Yeah,
it's the best race movie thing I've ever seen. It's so good. It's awesome.
yeah. I mean, it goes a little bit even beyond just like the racing in some,
Yes, it does
in some
do
ways.
more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have all the like interactions and all the kind of the background to also the characters as well, which I mean, at least in terms of, I mean, you do kind of have to watch it because the way that I think they cut between scenes and kind of the directing, especially like, so is it like in the very, like the movie opens with one of these like preliminary races on this planet that's almost like a qualifier to get into this big red line race. I think it's called like yellow line or something like that. So it's like a pre-qualifier race essentially. But even just in that, it's probably more than enough to like bankrupt a number of studios. I would probably say. Actually, I think the studio actually did go bankrupt. I think during the production of this movie. So I mean, it was a very risky movie. I think. So, but like I mean, just the way they cut between certain scenes and or the way they cut between like what say like the main character does in the car, like maybe he shifts a gear, maybe he like clutch gas combo or something like that, but the way they show that translating to how the car moves, especially during these really dynamic scenes and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, the direction and pacing, especially in the beginning scenes and pretty much in almost all the race scenes, is just really engaging, I think, and you really get sort of really absorbed into what is going on at that time. I'm trying to think, like, I mean, I've watched that movie probably 3 or 4 times, I want to say, and I think I almost made it like a, I'm not gonna say like a ritual, but I think I almost made it a point to watch it at least like once a year at a certain point, just because I mean, it's not like a super long movie, and yet it's, I don't know, it's just really kind of stuck with me. It was just a really cool movie.
It's very engrossing.
Yeah.
That's it.
And also, just for anyone, so the version of this I had the ability to listen to it in multiple languages. So if you get the chance, listen to the movie in Italian with your subtitles because it's amazing.
Really?
It's so smooth in Italian. It's great.
That's hilarious.
I'll have to do that.
Said,
I was just going to say, that being said, Joe turned me on to watch Hunter x Hunter. What, about 2 weeks ago now? Hold on.
Hold up.
No, you had mentioned it too. Joe actually was like, let's watch this, and we did.
Okay.
We watched a few episodes.
You've done him a service.
Yes. And that being said, in 2 weeks' time, I have plowed through 135 or so episodes of Hunter x Hunter.
Oh my!
This show is incredible.
You're a monster, Jared.
Hunter x
Hunter is pretty good.
It is
I want to
so
say
good.
It is so
to
good.
add to that, it's not just Jared who is crazy about just watching that many episodes of one, because our other friend who has not watched nearly as much anime as the rest of us started at the same time, and he is over episodes in as well.
Yeah, he's like almost at like around 120 or so.
I think like 120.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just me.
Show.
It's really good.
It's a good
Chimera
show.
Ant arc. I haven't even finished it yet, so no spoilers,
the Chimera
please.
Ant arc is so weird.
But it's so good. I love it. There's so
yeah.
many tense moments.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the best shonens I've ever watched in my life, boys. If not
And
the
it's
best,
just gonna
like through
get,
and through.
I think it's just gonna get better. I mean, from what I remember of it.
It's
And
so
Look forward to
good.
that.
Of course, Hisoka, best boy.
Hisako, best
Hisoka
boy.
is a
Lirio,
great villain.
best character.
Leorio.
Leorio. I love him. He's so good. There's so many good characters in it. Like the chairman. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Chairman's hilarious. I love him.
Like his final scene in the show. Oh,
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's awesome.
The entire Phantom Troop arc as
Oh
well.
my gosh, it's
so
Really,
good.
really strong. Really cool.
Kurapika.
Phantom Troop
Oh
is
my
terrible.
god.
Oh yeah. I mean, just even that fight, and I mean, even I don't know, just all of the Phantom Troop arc was just really good because it also
Yeah.
fleshed out the main characters,
You really
but also
did.
fleshed out I think a bit, at least maybe not necessarily backgrounds. I can't quite remember.
Well,
off
you
the top
got
of my
a
head,
hell of
but-
a lot more like character development for Hisoka besides him just being a sociopath.
Oh, Yeah, exactly.
Other than him just being a nut job.
Yeah, and even some of the other members of the Phantom Troop, especially like, well, I mean, especially everything that went on with like their leader and everything like that. So
Yeah.
You got to see Killua's parent or granddad and dad fight for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh my
awesome.
god.
something I
Zeno
wanna
is
say-
an insane man.
Zeno. Yeah.
For Hunter x Hunter, in a lot of shows, there is always power creep for your main characters.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
something that Hunter x Hunter does better than any show I've ever watched is that it walks you through the power creep and gives you reasons and shows you how
Yeah.
that power creep happens, as opposed to just they are up against someone stronger and thus they gain power. It step by step takes you through the growth of these characters, and you understand
Yeah,
why
it really does.
they're at that power level during this
Yeah.
fight, because you walked through it with them, and it does it, I think, best of any show I've ever seen.
Especially
Yeah,
with
even
like
just-
I haven't watched the original, but I've been watching the remake version, the 2011. And the pacing has been incredible.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
Well-
waste your time with too much like training
There's not a lot
stuff.
of filler.
No.
There's not a lot of filler.
There's
Yeah,
there's
even-
no filler, honestly. There's
Yeah,
like
in all
there's a few
honesty.
downturn
No, there's not.
moments.
Yeah, there isn't.
Like when Gon goes back to his island a few times. There's like there is like one kind of filler episode where it's just like recapping.
Yeah.
But like that's
Oh, right,
it.
yeah.
they have those occasional ones.
But
Yeah.
like there's always like in an actual episode there's always something that's driving the story forward.
Oh yeah, there's always
Yeah.
some significance to just about every episode.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of was it the I can't remember the maze, like when they were going to Hunter exam, the maze that they go through at some point in time where they get like penalized and having to wait in that room for like how many hours?
Yeah,
I mean,
they
yeah.
had to wait in the room for 5 additional hours or something.
yeah,
No,
I mean,
it was
even-
not 5
No,
hours.
it was
No,
not
no, no,
5
no,
hours.
no.
It
It
was
was 48 hours. Sorry.
Yeah, it was
40
like 2
hours.
days.
yeah,
50
something
hours,
ridiculous like
something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, they just go through that. I mean, it doesn't feel like I don't know. It's just, I mean, when you talk about not filler, I mean, I don't really remember any filler really. I mean, even
No.
talking about like recap.
I mean, there isn't
I
really
don't
much.
remember
if
that,
any.
so, yeah.
So,
But, yeah, no, the pacing's really good. So
All right, votes, boys.
well, no,
Hunter,
I
Hunter.
haven't said anything this whole time.
Yeah, go ahead, Clayton.
So just to walk it back just a second. When's it going to end?
ha ha ha.
It's
See-
a Madhouse show.
That's
When's
not
it going to
the
end?
so that's not the issue. It's the author.
The issue is the writing. The
Yeah.
writer. They're on a hiatus. They have no material.
But I will say
Yes.
that the show does come to a closure.
Yes.
It doesn't just like cut you off midstream. It comes to the end of an arc, and it implies that there's going to be further adventures. But it does actually come to like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. It does.
But what's also done by Madhouse, for a quick Google search, is Redline.
Things.
Really, they did
Redline is done
Redline
by
too.
Madhouse.
I forgot about that part.
And
That's impressive.
I am not discounting Hunter x Hunter. I will watch it eventually. The premise doesn't grab me as much. I've watched about 20 episodes and it still hasn't quite grabbed me. And so I anticipate you guys all voting for Hunter x Hunter, but I'm more interested in watching Redline. It hasn't
yeah.
yet.
Especially
No,
coming
fair
from-
enough.
That's fair.
That's perfectly reasonable. Redline is amazing.
Yes.
That's it. Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter.
Redline actually.
No.
Okay.
Joe.
Oh, Hunter x Hunter.
yeah,
I must have got drowned out.
The
No,
intense
I'm-
pause.
I didn't hear you. Yeah.
Hunter x
I
Hunter.
was
for
just
sure.
surprised that Henry agreed with me.
So this
I
was the
did,
first like
yeah.
not 5-0 for
Yeah,
a number
for a
1 seed,
one
which is
seed.
kind of what we were expecting that this might not be.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean, normally, but actually, I forgot that Redline was made by Madhouse. I forgot that part.
Well, and just to add to that, to me, the other 1 seeds, I would probably put Hunter x Hunter above them.
Honestly, I might.
It's honestly it's real close for me as I like get towards the end of what has been made, but it's
it's-
really good. It's
It's
very
not
good.
like Hunter x Hunter is not deserving of a 5-0. It's
Yeah.
deserving of a 5-0 against pretty much everything on here, but Redline is that good. For those of you guys that have not
Yeah,
watched it.
I just watched
The premise is
Joe's
more
favorite
interesting to me.
episode of Hunter x Hunter. We watched the other night, and my God,
It's a good.
My
episode.
God, it is a good episode.
131 for anyone who's interested.
Yes, 131.
I'm trying to remember what's in that episode, and I don't remember.
Gone goes
Oh.
crazy. That's all you need
There's
to
a-
know.
Oh,
From
that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yes.
was nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Alright,
let's move on.
Yeah, we spent
All right.
a while
We
waxing
got-
poetic.
We got A Tale of Memories versus Mobile Suit Gundam Wing.
So I
I'm
think
going for
maybe Henry and I are the only two that have watched F: A Tale of Memories.
Maybe, I think.
Yeah.
Joe, have you seen it?
I have not.
Ah, Clayton.
Nope.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming
it's
most
really
people here have seen Gundam Wing, correct?
Oh, of course.
Yes, we all
Uh,
watched Toonami in the 90s.
Yeah.
What is Gundam?
What is Gundam?
Is this a mecha?
Is this a mecha?
Is this a mecha?
It's the sequel to Top Gun.
I haven't watched any more than the 2 episodes.
It's just
that
Tom
Clayton
Cruise
showed
in a
me,
mecha.
So, F: A Tale of Memories is essentially what Henry, a drama, I would say,
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than anything.
I would definitely call it a drama.
But
Trauma
my
drama,
God,
yes.
the characters are so well done. The animation on this guy
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
is
Beautiful show.
insanely good. Like,
Oh yes.
we're talking what, near Unlimited Blade Works animation, but it's not fighting. Like, it is
Yeah, I
a
think-
very pretty
I mean,
show.
just the I mean the colors,
Yes.
the environments. I mean, it's a lot of really. I'm trying to think. I mean, the things that I remember sticking out to me were. I'm trying to remember how many like winter type scenes. I
Yeah.
think there were, or like
A lot of
snow
winter scenes,
falling,
a lot of
just-
snowfall.
Yeah, I mean, and just even some just like some of these panoramic. I might be mixing this up with some scenes from Tale of Melodies, but I mean, just some of the panoramic like camera shots that you get. Some of these like just these wide sweeping animation angles that you have, and I mean, just combining with all the other like the colors and just the quality of the animation overall. I mean, just continuously throughout, and that's not even talking about some of the stories.
Oh,
that you-
there's interwoven stories with a bunch
Yeah,
of different characters. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
you get some
I mean,
slight. I want to say what a slight paranormal vibe.
Like yeah,
very
yeah, actually,
light,
yeah.
but there is some.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you have the one character who ends up losing their memory after 13 hours,
Yeah.
I think, or so many hours of staying awake, so they always have to keep a journal
Yep.
and stuff. I mean,
And you get
those-
some
that-
you get some real feels in it as well.
oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it's not on the level of, say, like Anohano feels,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
for
just
sure.
want to
It's
burst
different,
out
yeah.
into tears, but like
Oh.
it hits you.
Have you ever watched
Yeah.
anything that hits as hard as Anohana?
No.
Okay, just making sure
No.
because I haven't.
The scale is still
I've
set.
gotten like scenes that have been
Oh,
close at times. Like the
Yeah,
last scene
yeah,
in
yeah.
like Angel Beats is pretty darn close, I would say.
Gets me every time.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, nothing's close as nothing's quite like
I'm
Anohana.
saying we're just like, all right, everybody gets this baseball bat, and you get a bazooka.
Yeah, yeah. But this,
This baseball bat doesn't hurt near as much as that bazooka did.
right. For anybody who hasn't
Yeah.
seen this show, though, like, you are sorely missing out on beautiful animation, beautiful storytelling,
And beautiful music too.
and
I mean, I
yes,
really
the music
enjoyed
is
opening.
very pretty as well.
The opening of both the first and the second, so F Tale of Melodies,
Yeah.
are both really good. I don't know, it's a very, I don't know, it's I don't know, it's just very very good storytelling and just
It
the
is.
ambiance, the type of, I mean, even just the type of stories that you're telling. I
Yeah,
feel
like you have what
Um,
I think 3 or 4 different stories going on continuously
it's
through the whole
1,
series,
2,
and it wraps it up very
I think it's
nicely
3.
in like 12 or 13 episodes as well.
Yeah,
That
would
being
agree.
said, Duo
you like-
Maxwell is amazing.
Yep.
Mobile
Yeah,
Gundam
so-
Suit, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing is probably my favorite Gundam. I would say.
It is mine. I gotta say, this I think is actually the first anime I've ever watched.
Yeah,
Gotta say.
we all watched Toonami in the 90s.
Yeah, but
We
like
all
this was,
watched
like,
Gundam.
Good times.
I think
Yeah.
this was my first one that I've watched.
If
I'm pretty sure that's
Between
pretty
like
similar.
this and like a little bit later on Toonami when they had like Yu Yu Hakusho, I think these are the two best like storytelling.
yeah.
you
Story.
clipped out a
Yeah,
lot
I
there.
saw. These are probably the two best storytelling shows between this and like Yu Yu Hakusho from the original Toonami.
Right.
So
I agree.
this isn't the Gundam that got me back into anime, but it was a close second. The Gundam that got me back into anime is G Gundam, and Joe will agree that it's great.
Yes, I will. And that brings me to my point. Mobile Suit Gundam Wing is not G Gundam, so I'm voting for F Memory.
You know what? That's a good man. Because honestly, I love Gundam Wing. I think it has some excellent moments, excellent fights. But F A Tale of Memories is just... I'm going to go as far to say it's a goddamn masterpiece, boys. It's that good.
It's up
Going with
there.
Gundam
It's
Wing.
up there. Going with
I'd
F.
be the only one, but I'm going.
No,
with it.
you're not the only one. Because if Mobile Suit Gundam Wing didn't exist, if Gundam as a franchise didn't exist, I would not be sitting here talking to you about anime right now.
All right.
Ah.
I am actually so happy that F moved along because this show is phenomenal. It really is.
It'll get crushed in the next round.
Yeah, I know.
So,
It doesn't matter.
We're gonna get crushed in the next round. In the next round,
so long.
that close. Next, we've got Overlord.
Hold on,
Hold
Joe
on.
had another...
we're moving ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't.
Because I made my decision very rationally
Yes.
and in a way that made it seem like I didn't think about it. But with the descriptions you guys did of F: A Tale of Memories and my feelings on the Gundam shows in general, which I enjoy, I've never been like held as them as like what I consider the greatest types of anime. They're very entertaining to watch. But what you describe is more of what I would probably consider to be like a good like overall anime.
Yeah.
And you describe something that is very much in what I would think to be my wheelhouse, and I need to go watch it.
Oh, I think
But
you would love it, Joe.
That's why I gave it the vote, because I think that if I were to watch it, I would probably put it above
Yeah.
Gundam Wing.
Oh,
Plus-
Not because
full
my G
disclaimer,
Gundam
I mean,
nonsense.
I voted right along just nostalgia glasses. Like
Oh
Yeah, and
honestly, like I think
nostalgia
I went back
glasses are
and tried
real.
watching Gundam Wing the other day, and I couldn't sit through it. Honestly, like honestly, like it is mostly just the nostalgia of it that I enjoy. It's not so much that I enjoy it as a show personally.
Yeah, F is, like I said, I think it's right on that line of a masterpiece. Now, Melodies is a slightly different story. It's not as good, but Memories is... It's excellent. Like,
Alright.
it really doesn't get much better than that.
All right, well, let's move along here. We got Overlord and Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin, whatever.
Whoa, don't just whatever Kenshin.
Bold over that one.
Did you just whatever Kenshin?
Oh,
about
I
to
definitely
fight.
did.
Oh,
You
boy.
done-
Only because I know exactly what is going up against.
You done fucked up, boy.
I don't even care.
Well, I haven't watched Overlord. Gonna go with Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh God! No,
Like my
no,
traditional
no.
Japanese samurai.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
love Overlord. It is an excellent show, by the way.
I will not disagree.
Plus,
Really
season
good.
3's opening is probably like top 5 favorite anime openings of all time.
It's
Just
I'm
so we're
pretty
getting
sure
fucked.
it's
in that
actually my
openings and
favorite
endings
opening
are
of all
great.
time.
Just so we're getting fucked.
Eh,
so this is a super difficult vote.
Yeah,
for
this
me.
is actually really tough, boys.
And speaking right now, I don't know which one I'm going to vote. Is how tough this is for me. Like I haven't even decided yet, because Overlord I love. It is
I
probably
love
one of my favorite
Overlord.
animes I have seen in recent time, and I cannot wait for more of it. And God, I hope there's more of it.
Oh, there's
And that
definitely
being-
more of it.
That being
They've
said,
already announced they're getting a 4th season.
thank God I don't have
Ah.
to kill myself. All right, so
Oh,
all the animes they didn't make are playing in heaven. Okay, we have to get there. All right, moving on. Kenshin is probably my favorite Toonami era anime. I love this show. And I don't know what I'm going to do. So someone else talk, because I can't decide between the two of them.
Hang on.
Kenshin is
Well,
like... So Kenshin
Wait,
is
you
up there
wanna
with like,
talk?
what? Inuyasha for like classics.
Oh yeah, shoot, yeah.
Like
yeah,
that's where Kenshin is at. Like,
yeah, for sure.
but it's so much better than Inuyasha. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kenshin's very good.
you
I
have
just enjoy Overlord because
It's
of the
just so
dichotomy
good.
that you get
yeah.
from the current genre. Like anime is
There's-
very dominated right now by isekai. You can't really
There's-
avoid it.
Yeah.
And it's just a fresh take on isekai because all the other isekai are, I hate my life. I am now in another world. I love it here. And Overlord's more of, I'm now in a different world. I'm going to be as fucking evil as I can possibly
Right?
be and hopefully find my way back.
And they're all all the characters are insane.
Yes.
Absolutely crazy.
Yes.
Like-
And best yandere albedo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like Jared, come on, you were talking just the other day how you loved that one episode in Overlord where the Tomb Raiders break into Ainz Al Ghul's.
Oh, they break in, but they don't break in. He lets
No,
them in.
they're allowed in.
Yeah.
What happens, Jared?
They're either murdered or used as experiments.
Yes.
And
in
it's
the
so
worst
good.
kind of way possible.
Yeah.
And you're just
Oh,
sitting
gosh.
there enjoying all this. Not only enjoying it, rooting for them.
Yeah,
Rooting for the bad guy.
Oh, when he
And you
crushes
know he's the bad
Clementine.
guy.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Like it takes a lot for you to root for a villain in a TV show. Like the only other example I can think of off the top of my head, if anybody has seen it, the Netflix show You actively are rooting for a stalker. He's that good of a character. That's kind of the vibes you get in Overlord. You're rooting for a sociopath murderer and his entire group of minions.
And then to address the end of the third season, where Ainz Gul'dan is completely overpowered. He could do anything he wanted
totally.
to destroy the other
Yeah.
army.
Yeah. No.
What does he
pits
do?
them against each other.
He pits
He
them against,
sacrifices
he-
half of them.
Yeah.
and he also pulls out the biggest slap my dick on the locker room table
For real.
magic spell ever. Nobody could ever hope of getting half to that spell.
Absolutely.
And then
not.
he calmly remarks about, I beat my record for summoning these demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, and then there's also that whole fight with in the cemetery with Burrell.
Yes.
Like that was badass.
Let's not also forget about the most important part, boys. Lizard sex.
Lizard sex.
I
Quality
don't
lizard
understand,
sex.
Jared,
Wait,
how
what?
this could even be close for you.
It's Kenshin
It
has
can
like
absolutely be close.
yeah.
Kenshin is very
Like,
good.
This is just nostalgia glasses.
It's not.
No, it's not. Kenshin is actually that good. Go back and
I
rewatch
recently
it.
watched
It's
it
very
again.
good.
And like we're talking about like good fight scenes or tense moments like in Hunter x Hunter, like the fight between Kenshin and
Yeah.
Saito the first time they like meet in the dojo
Right.
is as tense as it gets. And even though they didn't have like the amazing animation, the fight is such a good fight. And you talk about like redemption stories, like
Mhm.
you have this man who murdered tons of people and is on this quest to not, but everywhere he turns there are people who want him for his ability to kill, and he doesn't want to do that, but it's the only way he can solve problems is by using his strength. And it's just such a good show.
Yeah.
And, like
I-
all of the characters you talk about Sanosuke, like they talk about like his art, where he comes up, why he dislikes the government. You have all these different misfits that work together in this time. Like it's not that like I don't think Overlord is an amazing show. It's that I think Kenshin is also an amazing show.
I think Kenshin has a much better story. Even though Overlord panders more to me as an anime fan these days,
Mm-hmm.
with its hype you up openings, like awesome
Yeah.
scenes, like great animation. But Kenshin just has that storytelling, which I think that Overlord is as good as it is. Through 3 seasons, really not that much has happened.
Wow.
I'm going Kenshin, boys. I'm going with the upset.
Yeah, also gonna go Kenshin. It sounds like it feels like an established class in terms of
It's a classic,
Thinking
and it's
like
well
shows,
deserved to be a classic. It's a great
Well-
story.
I'm going Overlord.
Yeah, Overlord.
Joe with the swing vote.
Oh, it's not a swing vote. He's going to choose Kenshin.
Okay then.
I am at this point yet undecided,
Ah.
and I don't know what to do about it because I don't like. I thoroughly enjoy both of these shows.
Yeah.
Like I would sit down right now and watch either one.
But
Hey,
it
you have a
sounds like
point?
you have more of a stake in Kenshin. I would.
Well,
love
I
to
have a
argue for you
stake
to
in
go.
Kenshin, and I was arguing against Kenshin because you guys make the for Overlord.
Yeah.
You guys already
Yes.
have that for, and I was just defending a show that I thought was equally as good. But don't get me wrong, I think Overlord, like Jared said, its animation is great. It's a story I love. It's probably my
Oh,
favorite isekai because of the twist that it puts on it. Like you said, like all of these things are things I agree with.
Yes.
Hmm.
Animation. Let's not talk about the goblin bowling.
Right.
That's not the best animation. I will 100% say that.
But
Madhouse
But I
phoned it
still-
in there.
and that's fine because they're
Yeah.
pumping out seasons.
Yeah.
And I'd rather them pump them out than make everything
but
perfectly
it's
beautiful.
also Madhouse too,
Yeah.
so they're good.
Yes.
So I don't know. This is BS, and I hate this bracket.
Would it have been easier if I just said Overlord, Joe?
Do you need to
No.
flip a coin?
No, let's say.
I was gonna say if you need to flip a coin, flip a coin. Do whatever you need to do.
I can't
I
blame
think-
you either way.
I think I'm gonna go with Kenshin.
Damn it.
Just the history that I have with it, and I'm sorry, boys, but I'm
okay.
going with Kenshin.
I feel
My
personally.
Albedo waifu pillow will comfort me tonight.
I'm glad that you have that, and it's well deserved.
I couldn't be happier for Kenshin right now. Not to take anything away from Overlord, but
Well, shut up, Jared. I'm
next
hurt.
we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure versus the Seven Deadly Sins.
Dang it.
This is gonna break some people. I feel like.
No, JoJo's is more consistent through the whole thing. It's great the whole time. You cannot tell me that the third season of Seven Deadly Sins makes it really a competition.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
tell you,
And
first,
the Seven Deadly Sins guy who is regretting it the most agreed with me.
Yeah.
I
I-
like Seven Deadly Sins, but JoJo's is
But
so
JoJo's
unique to
is
me.
so good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just so
The meme-
It is
good.
the one of the most
Yeah.
memeable animes out there.
Oh, yeah,
For
for
his
sure.
the modern meme.
Joseph
I mean-
Joestar, young
Joseph
version or old
Joestar.
version,
the mad
is-
lad of
Yeah.
mad lads.
yes, is one of my favorite characters of all time from any show, and I'm going
Yeah.
JoJo's hands down.
And he's voiced by
Yeah.
the same voice
Yeah,
actor who
JoJo's.
does Gintoki Sakata.
Oh, I gotta go watch that later and like review that.
Yeah, JoJo's.
Yeah. Also,
It hurts me, but JoJo's.
I mean, considering I'm caught up.
I'm Seven Deadly Sins all the way, boys.
Are you?
I didn't.
Alright.
I expected that, Joe.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, I know
I-
you love it.
I
That's
love
fine.
Seven Deadly Sins.
I do love
I
Seven
love
Deadly
all of those
Sins.
characters. It just, and though the first few seasons are better, fucking Escanar is my man.
Escanar is
God.
amazing.
He's so good.
He's so good. I
Son
love
for all.
Like I,
He's so
Greatest son.
good.
there's
No.
not a moment in that show I don't enjoy.
I mean, it's an enjoyable show. I will say that I do agree with Clayton. The third season is just not nearly as good, but it's still really good. It's a really good
and I
show.
get it. I love the first two seasons, but the third season just no.
Does have Escanor.
It does, but no.
All right.
Also, one of my favorite things is when he just walks outside and is looking in the sky
yeah,
and catches that freaking spear and chucks it back at him. So good. So good.
Oh man. All right. Well,
Even with all that,
JoJo.
JoJo's moves on, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Just-
4-1 JoJo's.
Henry,
Switch
did you
your
go
vote, join me.
JoJo's?
It won't change
I also
anything.
went JoJo's.
Ah, good
Yes.
man.
All right. Next up.
One
We
Piece
have-
versus Alt No Zero.
Yep.
I'm gonna make this one real quick on you boys.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Alt No Zero. I have not seen a single episode of One Piece.
Really?
But One Piece has gone on for 1,200 episodes. I'm voting One Piece.
Fair enough.
That ending in Alt No Zero is complete trash.
I
Trash.
haven't seen All No Zero. I will say One Piece does have like for as long running as it is, it does have moments where it just absolutely does hit me
Oh
in
yeah.
the feels sometimes. Like when I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but there is it's not too far in where one of the semi-main characters dies off in a very sad way and hits me right in the feels every time.
By not
Gotta
too
get-
far in, do you mean like episode 200?
Yeah, I mean that's
yeah,
not
probably.
too far in at this point.
I mean, let's be real, too far in. That's not too far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I guess my biggest
You have to do
detractor
something
for
right
it
to make
is
nearly
just
20.
the pure.
Go ahead. Sorry, Clayton.
Yeah, my biggest detractor for it is it's just the pure length of it. And sure, you could say that's good that it just goes on, but I'm one of those guys. I want an ending, and it's not going to end. It's going to go on for 40 years, and it's not going to end. And it's
I mean,
never
it's
going to get
already
easier
on
to
40.
watch. Yeah,
Also,
end
the guy who
10 years.
writes said that he literally knew what the ending was from the beginning, so it does have an ending.
Yeah, he hasn't. I know
Okay.
he said that, so he does have an ending in mind.
when's he going to write it?
I
though?
just hope he doesn't die first.
No,
He's going to
That would be
straight up
bad.
George R. R. Martin it.
I mean, technically, we
Yeah.
have an ending for Game of.
No,
No,
we
we
do not
don't.
have an ending for Game of Thrones. We don't
We
have
do
an ending
not.
for the books. We have an ending that was made non-canonically for the show.
It was a great show.
It was the whole
we
show
all
was
know
a
your
spin-off
opinion,
after
Joe.
the first season.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm voting One Piece.
Yeah. Let's see. Despite the ending of Alno Zero, I have the second opening for Alno Zero. That's a great soundtrack, and I don't know, just the general, just the general show, maybe minus the ending. I think it has me, so I'm going with Alno Zero.
My name is Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
In 40 years.
In 40 years.
Doesn't matter how long it takes to get there, as long as he gets there.
Yo, gotta go.
So
Probably my thoughts on this is I like Alno Zero, but it's not my favorite mech show. That would be Breakblade is probably my favorite mech show that
Right,
I've watched. And I love One Piece. I've watched probably 900 of the 1,000 episodes that they
Out
have.
of 1,200 episodes.
1200
that are
now.
available,
1200 now.
It's gotta
Oh,
have at least
gosh.
something that anybody can watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: ignoring the filler, which you got to skip if you ever want to watch it, because it's just, there's too much source material to watch to even mess with the filler. All
yeah.
of the arcs I've ever watched have been good. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like they're hit or miss. They're all consistently good.
Yeah, I totally agree. They're very consistently good. There is a shit ton of filler in them,
Yes,
but
there is.
in this show. But aside from that, it's really good.
Clayton?
yeah, so I'm going to vote for Alno Zero, and I'm just going to explain a little bit about the show because we haven't really talked about it.
That's fair. Go ahead.
Mm.
We did kind of gloss over it
What
a little.
really
Yeah.
what I really enjoy about the show isn't that it's like the best mech ever made. What I enjoyed about the show, especially early on, was there was a huge disparity between the strengths of the different mechs. You had the invading army from Mars,
Yeah.
who had these super advanced, basically Gundam level mechs, and essentially the people you were following are like the people piloting like Zaku. And you're watching them and you're watching the main character as they try to learn how to find the weaknesses of the invading mechs so they can have a chance, they can have a hope to move on. And I think they did a great narrative up until they cucked everybody in the last episode.
Yep.
And while
I
that
agree
is a
with you.
reason why I couldn't vote for Akame ga Kill, because I saw the actual narrative that they did in the manga, but Alnoa Zero was an original show. So there's no other storyline for me to sit there and pine and wax poetic about. So despite the horrible ending, it's still the true ending of the show. And I enjoyed the plot devices of the regular show enough that, and plus I can never go watch One Piece. It's just too long.
Yeah.
I could
So
see myself
I
getting
vote-
into it at some point. I've said that for years.
I
And-
know that it's long, but I think it is
It-
worth getting into.
I think it's worth getting into.
If I
It's
can
not
binge
bad.
watch 130 some episodes of Hunter x Hunter in like 2 weeks, I can get into One Piece.
It'll just take time, but yeah, you could definitely do it.
Mm.
All right, so
One Piece moves on.
Yep,
All
3-2.
right, next up we got Trigun versus Naruto. Everybody's favorite ninja.
Yes.
Yeah, so favorite. I'm voting for Trigun.
Oh boy.
I like. both
I'm
of these
actually I'm
shows.
also voting for Trigun because I fucking love Vash.
Oh, Vash.
Vash is amazing.
Vash is incredible, and
I-
I
Yeah.
have not seen enough of Naruto to give it a fair shake, but Trigun,
I am
fairly familiar
Trigun,
with what
Trigun
happens in the
holds
story,
up.
though.
Trigun
I love
really does hold
Naruto.
up very
Aaron,
well.
I know. Og and I have been trying to get you to watch Naruto
Yeah.
last decade.
Yeah.
You should definitely watch Naruto.
Oh, I know the fight scenes are like incredible, and it has some
Oh,
really
yeah.
incredible
Yeah.
story.
The hype moments in Naruto are definitely worth
You
it.
get-
I
You
mean,
get you want to talk about payoff? You get payoff with Naruto. There is a lot of filler.
yeah.
But the fight scenes are amazing. I enjoy just about every character. There's a handful that I don't, but you know, I really enjoy the story. I love Trigun. Man, this is tough.
Yeah. I
So
mean, the first 2 seasons of Naruto, I think, are definitely probably my favorite, at least considering just the original series. And once you start to get to Shippuden, I mean, some of the later, the beginning stuff, I think is pretty good. The later stuff, especially when you get to like the wars
once they
and
get
stuff
to
like
the
that.
third Great Ninja War, it drags on.
Yeah,
But
just
before
a
that,
little bit. Yeah.
well, when they're facing the Akatsuki, it's really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yeah. Yeah.
God. Like the whole pain arc is amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
You want to talk
like...
about feels? Oh my god, so many feels in just that one arc alone. And then
Yeah.
once you get on past that, when it's starting to like, or no, even before that, excuse me, when he's trying to like train with the Ninetail Fox. Oh my god, there's so many
Yeah.
feels. This show just has so many feels. Trigun's really good. I love Trigun. Vash is hilarious. I laugh so much watching Trigun, but I got to give it to Naruto.
So, Naruto it's a classic. It's one of the best. It's one of the good. I would watch that before I watch One Piece. I'm sorry.
It's not as long.
But-
not as long.
Not nearly as long.
When compared to Trigun, and also the Rock Lee Gaara fight from the original series,
Oh yeah.
where Rock Lee drops
yes.
the training weights, it's
Yeah.
epic. It's
Basically.
great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was good.
But
Well, even
I don't
Naruto
need a
Gaara-
guide. I don't need a guide to avoid the filler to watch Trigun. I can just
Aha.
sit down and watch Trigun.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I'm not
And-
saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
even
and-
with all that filler, I
Yeah.
still really enjoy Naruto, and I think maybe more so than Trigun, just a hair.
yeah. And Trigun ticks the boxes that I tend to like in these types of shows, where you've got a character who on the surface is quite jocular and high on life, but as you learn more about his backstory and history,
Yeah.
you discover how much of a tragic figure he is, and
Yeah, it's
how
crazy.
and how the face he's putting on is really just a mask to cover up his pain.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
that speaks to me so much more than I have the 9 tails in my belly.
Well, that's not really the only thing, but
Yeah, I know.
the
I'm
fact that he's
simplifying
trying
it
to
for
be-
make my point.
I mean, you are glossing over the fact that he's completely shunned the entire village and still wants to be a part of that society. And rather than turning on it, he's trying to get people to be on his side, which is similar to Trigun, but I would still say even more so is better. I think Naruto actually might even do that slightly better.
Right.
Yeah, but eventually everybody accepts Naruto.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But for
Takes
the most
them
part, Vash
Several
still...
hundred episodes to get there.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time for that to
Yes.
see that over time and how he does win people over.
I guess my thought is Vash sacrifices so much throughout the series and doesn't ever really get a huge thank you from the mass amount of people, but he still does it
Yeah,
anyways.
Now just checking. Clayton, did you read the manga for Trigun, or do you have the manga for
Yes.
that? Okay. Because I remember like going through the show, which I'm probably gonna end up going Trigun with this, I think. But just going through the show, I think there were moments where, at least in the anime, I don't know, I kind of felt a little bit like they might have glossed over a couple details, like
Oh,
especially
yeah.
some of the backstory and some of the like, I mean, world building, because you kind of eventually get the idea of like how these people came to the world that they're actually in, like the function of like the plants, I guess.
Yes.
A couple of these other more ethereal elements, I guess,
Yes.
of the plot. I mean, I guess they go through that a little bit more in the manga, maybe.
Well, yeah,
Or-
one thing they don't touch on in the show, but is a key point in the manga, is that anytime Vash uses his powers, from
Right.
being, from
Yeah,
the plants,
yeah,
it depletes part of his life force.
that's right. Okay.
So as the manga goes on, his hair, you'll see, goes from pure blonde to having dark brown creep up the side. And it's
Okay,
heavily
right,
implied
yeah.
that whenever when his hair stops being blonde, he'll die.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that I mean, obviously it's great that Vash is, does go through a lot of that character change, but I think also with just Naruto itself, the characters that surround Naruto also go through a great deal of character development, and so
Sakura?
I think Sakura goes through a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
uh,
especially like pre versus post. I guess.
Neji, Neji,
yeah.
even. Like, you want to talk about early character development?
Oh yeah, for
Neji
sure.
has to go through all kinds of character development there at the beginning. Rock Lee literally has no talent other than he's really good at kicking people. And
He didn't even have that. He forced himself to have
yeah,
that.
but, like,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he had his martial arts, and that was essentially his highlights. Essentially.
yeah, like, I mean, I'm not, and that's nothing against, Trigun with the character development, but it's all about Vash, which obviously it should be. But I will
Yeah.
say, even with Naruto,
Don't forget Wolfwood.
I would say you have Wolfwood. You have
Wolfwood's going from being a pure mercenary character to redeeming himself in the end
yeah,
he
and
does have a
becoming
bit
more
of
like
a-
Vash.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a redemption portion right there.
I guess my point is that
yeah.
you have a larger portion of the characters in Naruto that end up developing and becoming, in theory, better people. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
and I
I
think
think-
it's
I mean, even
a
you think
lot
like
more
Inu,
fun to watch
like
that.
that. With like Sakura and Inu, as well as like both of those going through kind of similar, I think, changes or
Yeah.
evolutions as the series goes on. So
I think they're different shows. I
They
know
are.
what-
this is also
They're,
true. Yeah,
they're much
Yeah.
different shows.
But to me, like, Naruto is about the community. It's about
Yeah.
the village, about the growth of everyone, not just Naruto himself.
yeah,
Whereas Trigun is about Vash's story. It is a story about Vash the Stampede and
Yeah.
kind of his arc. So it's a different focus. Like to say that one is better than the other because it focuses more on a single character or focuses more on a group. They're
Oh no,
different
I'm not saying.
stories.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah.
one is better because of that.
Yeah, I know, but and my thing is, I really like Naruto and Trigun as well. I've enjoyed both shows that I watched, and I've watched a lot of the Naruto. I haven't finished all of the Shippuden, but I got most of the way there. And the thing that I have against Naruto is that to me it suffers from negative power creep versus like when we talked about the power
That's
creep in
fair.
Hunter x Hunter, because
I can do that.
you sometimes Naruto just leaps in power because, but sometimes they show why. But
Yeah.
through all of the power creep in Naruto, they leave so many of these good characters behind that they just basically become useless. And they show
have
you
the
all these characters.
Yamcha
They get you invested in all of these characters, but they come to a point where they just can't do anything. It's become so ridiculous
of-
that Naruto can throw a planet at someone and well, I can control people's shadows. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't match, and it makes it difficult, and you lose some of that connection to all those characters that you want to see do things that you're invested in.
Yeah.
To not to cut you off there, Joe, but to simplify it for like some people who haven't seen it, or maybe who have seen like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it's kind of similar with between those.
Yes. Yeah,
like
it's
from
what I would
Dragon
call
Ball, you
bad
had
power
like
creep.
everybody was useful for the most part. A lot of people were pretty close to the same level in fighting skill, and then in Dragon Ball Z, it just completely flips.
Comes Goku
Right.
and
Yeah.
Vegeta.
Yeah,
And-
it's 100% like the Yamcha effect.
Yeah,
Right.
like essentially the
that's- you
Yamcha
have-
effect, the Yajirobe effect, the even Piccolo effect.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have these great characters which are just kind of useless, essentially.
Well, and you have characters that the world tells you are super powerful characters at the time when they're first introduced, and then later on they just become nothing.
Yeah,
And so
Yeah.
it doesn't always work, right? So it's
Yeah.
and take nothing away from Naruto because I love Naruto and it has some of the best fight scenes. Like it's so fun to watch. The story is good.
Yeah.
It's just I personally am probably gonna go Trigun on this one because though it is a shorter story, it follows it is to itself the whole time and doesn't have kind of that negative drawback to it.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
that's fair.
Mhm.
Did it just get
I'm good.
did Trigun get
Yeah.
by 4-1?
I think it's 4-1.
I think so.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
Well, there you have it. That's Trigun moving on to the next round.
Sorry,
That was a
Justin.
long one.
Oh, I expected that. Justin loves Naruto, so I
Oh,
yeah.
wanted a good lengthy talk about
Yeah,
that
I
one.
can't
I
blame
enjoyed
him.
Naruto.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with. I'm happy with both. Either the out with the, with whatever the outcome was for that one. I just wasn't gonna let Naruto go down without a fight.
No, Boruto's
Believe
there
it.
for that.
Boruto's for that.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on. We
God.
have
Toradora.
Toradora versus Jared's favorite, Food Wars.
Don't let me in with that because I love Toradora, my friend. Toradora is so freaking good.
I know, but you talk about Food Wars. all
It's
the
so
time.
freaking good as well. This is
It's
my
one of the best shonen battle anime.
yeah. This is probably my hardest matchup of this entire round right here.
I'm
This
gonna
is a hard
let
one
you
for me
guys
too,
judge
Jared.
this because I haven't really watched either.
I've watched
since,
Toradora all the way through probably 4 or 5 times, and I've watched Food Wars all the way through at least twice,
so-
and they're both so damn good.
I'm not gonna lie, this bracket is leaving a terrible taste in my mouth. I just have a terrible taste in my mouth. I need
It's okay, I feel
Oh my
you.
God.
copious amounts of alcohol after that.
I think we all do.
I'm already a beer deep. I
I'm-
don't know about you guys.
Hey, I'm a few drinks deep
six-pack
myself.
deep, so
Yeah, I've got a couple. Reasons
um,
why I drink number 10,100.
I'm a
This-
kilo deep. Does that count?
Yes, Joe. it
yes,
counts.
Joe. Has everybody seen these shows, or at least part of them?
Yeah, I've seen both.
parts, kind of.
Yeah, I've seen parts.
Kind of. First episode.
Joe?
Scenes and AMVs.
Yeah, I've seen both, and I love both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured you and I were probably in the same boat. I know Clayton's not fully caught up on Food Wars, but I know he enjoys
I know
both
it
as
happened.
well. Yeah. So us three are probably like the most torn up about this one. So-
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really a fan of Food Wars. Unpopular opinion, I'm sure, in this group.
That's
but,
fine.
To
each their own.
I'm gonna go with Toradora.
That's fine. Can't
Yeah,
fault you for
can't
that.
blame you.
So Toradora is
more-
one of the best like school slice of life like love story shows that I've seen out there,
Yeah,
and it hits
I
you
don't-
with the feels at the end.
I don't even
One
really
of the
like
last few
Slice of Life,
episodes.
but I really do enjoy Toradora.
Oh, it's excellent. The music and the openings is great. The characters are
Yeah.
great. You have one
Yeah.
of probably the best tsunderes of all time.
No, like
No,
the
if not
best
the
tsundere.
best. Yeah, the best tsundere of all time.
The voice actress for that does
Yeah.
all of the best tsunderes of all time.
Freaking Taiga.
So I guess Justin, why should Toradora get my vote over Food Wars?
I'm not gonna try and sway anybody in this category. Like
Well,
I
I
said,
guess why don't you like Food Wars?
I'm just not big on. I don't know the concept of it. I guess I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's
it's just
definitely
not my-
ridiculous.
Huh?
It's definitely a quite ridiculous concept.
It's just a ridiculous concept. I mean, I can see why people like it, it's just not for me personally, and I'm not going to try and put my opinion on this towards anybody. Like, I think it's a reasonably well animated show, to say the very least. I think the plot line it's exactly what it is. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is what it is. It lives up to what it says it is going to be. I mean, I can see why people like it. Like I said, just not for me, personally.
Okay.
So I can see why some people wouldn't like it. Excuse me, my voice was going out a little bit there. It is fairly predictable for the most part. Like, Yukihara is almost always going to win somehow, one way or another.
Yep.
Like, I do get that. It's quite predictable when it comes to that. There aren't a lot of like high tension, like, oh, is he actually going to lose this food battle or not? But they do mix things up quite a bit to keep things interesting. Like the last arc, they just cleared up things with a takeover with the Academy, which was pretty fun, which I'm not really sure where the story is going to be going from here. I know the manga is wrapping up, so I wouldn't be surprised if the anime is too far behind as well. And I love the cooking scenes. I think it's really fun, all the different twists and turns they take with different reveals, how they made their dishes, how they explain the ingredients. But overall, Toradora, I think, is just a special story. And it's just something where I have a great love for Food Wars. I love cooking. I love food.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jared just loves food.
I love food. I really do.
I also love food.
Yeah, and Food Wars, like, I think the first 2 or 3 seasons are exceptional. I think it has gotten the quality of, I think, the tension in the show and everything has gone downhill a little bit. And a lot of characters have taken the back seat in the show.
You think it's gotten stale?
It might have gotten a little stale.
Uh,
It kind of suffers from what Joe has talked about, essentially like negative power creep, where you have these incredible cooks, yet they don't hold a candle anymore to a lot of these other cooks or chefs or whatever you want to call them at this point. And it does suffer from that. And with that issue, I gotta vote for Toradora. It's just an excellent show through and through.
Like, Food Wars for me gets me super hype when I watch it.
Yes.
Like, I love like the food battles, the cooking, the reveals, delicious, by the way. Like, want to eat all of those things. And it is all around a incredibly entertaining show that there's no ifs or buts about it. If you watch it, it's entertainment. But again, going back to it, like, I think Toradora is a better just overarching like story than Food Wars is. Food Wars is hype and fun, and it's ridiculous, and that's why I love it and wouldn't change it for anything. But I can't say that it's a better show than Toradora.
Yeah.
I think we've all hit on that. It's just not a better show than Toradora overall. And that's coming from Joe and I, who both absolutely adore Food Wars.
I love Food Wars.
Like, it's so good.
Like I said, I don't really like Slice of Life, but Toradora is really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where are you leaning, Henry? Because I'm still on the fence.
I think for me, based on what I've been hearing, I'm probably gonna have to go Toradora. I think for this. I mean, I think I probably have a little more Food Wars than Toradora, but I think just with the art, with what I've heard so far, I think I'm gonna have to go Toradora on this one.
So, I love Toradora, and if this was more of an even fight, I probably would vote Toradora. But when the best battle anime in this bracket is an anime about people cooking.
Whoa.
That's debatable.
That's debatable when you have Hunter x Hunter, my friend.
Yeah,
you got Hunter x Hunter.
I haven't watched it. So the best battle anime in my eyes, from what I've watched in this bracket, is Food Wars.
I love it.
I
Hot
have
take.
to vote for Food Wars.
That is a hot take.
That is a spicy take, Clayton.
That is
Spicy.
really-
Quite spicy. And by the way, even though Soma always wins, when he doesn't, it's that much more gripping.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you see like a full like what one or
Like-
two
like him versus
seasons
the
of him
Spice Guy.
always winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Like,
think we've kind of talked down Food Wars, but it's really not that we're talking
Oh,
down
no.
Food Wars. I love
No,
Food Wars. Torador is just amazing.
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I said,
It's
if
like
this
I
was
said,
closer, I would
understand
probably
it's a
vote for
great
Torador.
show. I just personally don't enjoy it that much. I can see, like I said, why anybody would love this show. It is a high quality show. It's just not really for me.
yeah.
Oh, I absolutely see why people don't like it.
I'm mostly
Oh, I do
voting
too.
for Food Wars
I
because
100%
don't think
do
it
as
deserves
well.
to Get 5-0'd.
Yeah.
All right,
I got
let's
you.
move on. Last round here. We've got My Hero Academia versus Gundam Zero.
Gundam 00.
Double-
Gundam
Alright.
00 and My Hero Academia.
I think I've always just called it Gundam Zero, but yeah.
Boys, this is probably the easiest vote I have in this bracket.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah. What are you going there, Joe? What do you think?
So I'm going My Hero because
Yeah.
I love that show, and the variety of powers in it is awesome. It's just so fun. The character development is fantastic.
Yep.
And United States of Smash.
United
Yes.
States
Yeah.
of Smash.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this one. I'm gonna make this one real quick as well, boys. I'm going with Sky High, the anime. I'm going with My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Where's Kurt Russell?
Where's Kurt Russell?
I
Oh my goodness.
I love this anime. Honestly, I can't say enough.
This
good
is
things.
not to
My
cut you
Hero.
off there real quick, Justin, but this is the one of the few animes I've kept up with the last like 3 or 4
Oh.
years consistently every single
Absolutely.
week. I have to
Like,
watch
the-
it.
The last was it? I think it was 2019. I kind of didn't really follow along. But that said, I did always watch My Hero Academia, and this show is just great. Like it's like Joe says. Like there's the character development is fantastic. The powers are all very unique, very cool and interesting. I think for the most part, it's colorful. It's well animated for the most part, with the exception of a couple of drops. But whatever. The overall story is fantastic. The pacing is great. I mean, I think there's only like a couple episodes that are actually filler every season.
I know like the Froppy one where she went
Yeah.
to her internship or whatever was a filler episode,
Right.
but
I mean,
even like the
Uh,
filler episodes are really good.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they're still
Yeah.
enjoyable. That's the
You
thing.
leave my
That's all
Froppy
enjoyable,
episode
filler.
alone.
I love that episode, Joe. Love
Yeah.
it.
Love it.
Oh, my God.
So,
That being said, though,
I mean,
so
That
Henry?
being said,
I mean, I
you
think
got me here, Henry. You got me here,
uh,
buddy.
Yeah, I probably do. I think. I mean, at least for Double O, I'm trying to think before Double O. I mean, I think I did watch Iron Blood Orphans before that, but I think before that, the only other Gundam I had really, like, kind of watched was correct me if I'm wrong, but I think was it Jin Gundam with the Shining Finger, or was that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's G Gundam.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I hadn't watched all of G Gundam, but I'd seen like a bit, I think, of it. But I mean, Double O, I mean, I really enjoyed the first season. I probably binged half of the second season in like a day, and then I also watched the movie for Double O.
mhm.
So at least from a Gundam perspective, and I don't know, I just really I think I'd really enjoy just the just kind of just the story that they were telling, and then some of the bigger twists and turns that they had in this story. Because I mean, it wasn't just the Gundam pilots fighting stuff, although they had some pretty daunting fights, because they didn't always win. Sometimes they were really pinned down for like a long time and stuff like that. But then you also had a lot of kind of tragedy and some just like a lot of bad things that also happened to
Yes.
like the side, or like the initially they were side characters, I guess, or they were more like tertiary characters, but then they became more primary and became more in focus as you went on in like the second season. and such. So at least through that sort of change in, I guess like kind of the main cast in that case. I mean, that was really good, I think, for me anyways. And I also just really liked the movie. I think the Gundam 00 movie. Ending was a little bit, I mean, I think it was still pretty good. But I think as a whole, I think, I don't know, it's really hard between My Hero Academia and Gundam 00, but I think I'm going to have to go with 00 at this case. Although, that being said, really enjoy Hero Academia and still keep me up with that. So,
Yeah, I mean,
oh, goodness.
My Hero
This
Academia
was a
is
tough one for me.
one of the best currently running shonens.
Yes.
But I made a Netflix account and got the DVD so I could watch 00. And
Can you say you wouldn't do the same for My Hero if you had the chance
Yeah.
now?
Would you do the same?
Would
for
you
My
do
Hero?
the same, Clayton?
probably not.
Aha.
Fair enough.
okay.
I'll take
At
that.
the same timeline, like at the same time when you're having to order DVDs, Gundam is the whole reason I'm an anime fan.
We're aging ourselves here.
Yeah, but Gundam 00, in my
Back in our day,
opinion,
we had to order these.
yeah, Gundam 00 is the best of the Gundams in the last 30 years, in my opinion.
Wait, it's 00, not G Gundam.
No, taking off the spectacles of
my readers. I think this is supposed to say Gundam Wing.
taking off the rose-tinted spectacles of nostalgia. The story in 00 is better than G Gundam, and for me, Wing.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
What?
The openings are really nice too. And the
Yes,
He's
And
trying
I
to
just really
say.
like-
it's a very solid show, and I'm voting for 00.
You
That's
tell
fair.
me there's a Gundam better than G Gundam? I don't know about
Yes.
this.
Hey.
Well, that's it, boys. My Hero moves on.
I mean, it doesn't
Alright,
change the fact that My Hero moves on. It's just
yeah.
You stand tall. Also,
Yes.
that last bracket was incredibly painful.
Yes.
Like I
Oh, yeah.
said,
My
I have
God, was
the
it?
worst taste in my mouth. Especially over Overlord not making it. A
Oof.
little upset.
It breaks
with that.
my heart too, but I love
I'm-
Kenshin.
Highly
it's
salty
going to get
about
crushed
that.
by JoJo's.
I mean, it's definitely going to get crushed by JoJo's. If it doesn't, I may walk out for a second.
There's no way I'm voting for JoJo's over Kenshin.
Well, there's 4 other votes, Joe.
Hey,
You've all been wrong before.
Yes, so we will probably be wrong again.
you're not wrong, as they say.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Man, got a little heated in here. Especially the Trigun in
shit.
Naruto. Even
Oh
though
my
Trigun
goodness.
got 4-1.
Hey, I'm not letting my boy Naruto go down. All right.
Well,
Without a fight.
that's the job for his son.
That's right.
That's the job of
Boruto's
Boruto.
Oh my god.
What a stupid
Boruto
name.
and the Moon People's job.
All right. Well, boys, did you have fun?
Yeah.
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 That concludes the first round.
Yeah.
Of,
The round
The
of
March anime.
64 is done.
yeah.
Oh my
In
gosh.
the books.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Does anybody else have a really bad taste in their mouth after all of this?
I will after the next episode when Gintama inevitably gets eliminated.
Wait, who's it going up against?
Samurai.
Shampoo.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's going to get eliminated. It's a better show. It's going to get eliminated.
You got to the first round, Clayton.
We'll
You got
see.
time.
We
I
never
will
know
take
what will
solace in
happen.
that.
But
I will work on
anyways.
my arguments.
Will Gintama move on to the next? Find out next,
time.
Find out next time.
March
in-
Anime Madness.
Find out who stabs who.
Dragon Ball. is
Whom
brought
stabs
to you
whom?
by
Find
There
out
may
if
be
any of
more.
us are still friends.
And please support the official release.
I hate you all.
Easy, Clayton.
All right,
okay, we
guys,
can all-
catch you on the next episode.
We can all rebond by watching the Digimon.
The Digimon movie, yes.
Digimon, Digital Monsters.
Digimon are
And-
the champions.
And or Redline, because seriously, we should watch Redline.
Actually,
And or
we all
Redline.
should watch Redline. That's a
Yeah,
great
we should
idea.
watch.
I voted for
Yeah.
it, so I can't say no.
All right, we'll catch you on the next episode, guys. Bye.
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 Goodbye.